All right, welcome back. I'm attorney James Betzold, and I'm here to explain to you today about apps on your NAS. So what we've been discussing in this last series of videos is how to set up your own server, right? Your own network attached storage with server functionality in your own office, so you can have redundant backups, so you can have a VPN of your very own, and a lot of other important features that you need for a business where you need to protect data. So today we're going to be talking about some of the useful apps that you can install on your NAS. And so these are applications that you can use. You can install applications on your computer, and you can access these apps via your network. So for example, we're going to go over today a chat app. So you can install a chat app on your NAS, and then you can download the client program for your computer. And you can also download one for your phone, so you can be chatting with your staff and groups throughout the day. So really important stuff, chatting, taking notes, things like that. Let's take a look at how all this works. So here's this outline of your network, right? You have a firewall, hopefully a router, maybe it's the same unit. We've got here's your NAS and computers on your network, and on your NAS you have some applications that we can run. We're going to be looking at these three today, so let's go forward. All right, let's actually go right into our Synology. And if you don't remember how to find it, use your Synology Assistant app. You download it from the internet, you search your network, it finds it, you double click it, you log in. And this is what you see. So we are going to go to our package center. This is where you can find all the apps that you can use on your Synology. And let's just double click here. And let's start scrolling through. What do we have? Some different backup programs, directory server, we don't need that. Antivirus by McAfee. You can buy a license and install that. We've already installed the Essential Antivirus, and so that's working. Audio Station is if you have like a huge collection of MP3s or audio files that you want to manage, you can store those here, and then you can stream them to your mobile device or to your computer. Calendar actually looks pretty good. I've not installed it myself, but you know, taking a look at it here, it makes a pretty compelling case. This is a calendar server, so instead of using something like Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar, if you wanted to host your own calendar server on your NAS, you could do that here, and then you can give permission to people in your firm to access it or to share it. So it looks pretty good. You can look at some of the functionality here. But let's go back and keep looking through the others. Card dev server, we don't need that. Chat. This is a fun one. So let's install it. Let's click on here first. If you know what Slack is, if you know what Slack is, or if you know what Flock is, this is a, how would you call it? It's a communication platform for a company or a firm or a group of people, and it's real convenient. So let's click install, and we'll show you how it works. So in order to install this, there's going to be some other dependencies, which just means there's other programs it has to install first, and then it'll install chat, and then we can start playing with it. While it's doing that, I'm going to take you to this web page, which is the Synology Download Center. You select the model of your NAS, and you come down here and you can see these are the apps for things that you're going to want to install on your computer. And as you can see, Synology Assistant is there, and right here is the chat app. So you would click that to download it and install it. Now if you're on Mac, here, and if you're using Linux, so Fedora or Ubuntu, you would download those. Let's see how far we are along in the, okay, it's already running now. So you have two options for running this. You can either log in through here, and since I'm logged in as James on the Synology, it'll log me into this app as James, so I can click open. And the other option you have is, since I've already downloaded it and installed it, I'm just going to open up the Synology chat app, which is going to show on the screen here now. And this time I'm going to log in as Paralegal 1. Now you'll note it wants the URL or the address. This is the address on your local machine, on your local network where the NAS is. So that's the NAS's local address. So that's what we're using here. Anyways, we're going to do auto login, so it'll log me in automatically next time. So let's click login. So in this one window, I'm logged in as, here we go, I'm logged in as James. And there's a channel called Whole Firm. And I've invited already Paralegal 1 and Paralegal 2. Let me show you how to invite people. All right, so I was playing with this earlier, but let's assume that we want to add Paralegal 3 to the group here. So what are the steps that we need to go through? Well, let's pull up the PowerPoint here 1 second. And remember, there's a few steps to enabling these applications on your NAS. First of all is to install it on the NAS, which you do through the Package Center, which we just did here. And then you want to install the client software on your computer. So you go to the Synology download page and you download the chat app, and you can install that on your Windows computer or your Mac or your Linux computer. And the next thing is we need to set permissions so that the users of your NAS will or will not have access to these particular apps. So back on the Synology NAS, we're going to close the Package Center. We're going to open the control panel. We're going to click on users, because you can give individual users permission to use this app, or if they belong to a group, you can go to the group and you can set the permission for the group. So let's go to the Paralegals group. We're just going to double click to go that. And here's the permissions, and that's for folders. But let's go to applications up here. And I've enabled it for chat. And I've also enabled it for Note Station. We'll go over that in a minute. So just making sure that they have permission first. That's okay. And then to test it out, let's open our chat app. I'm going to log out Paralegal, whoever this is. Paralegal 1. Let's log in Paralegal 3. All right, so in the app here, we've logged in as Paralegal 3. We're going to go through all this. It's just telling you how to use the app, right? And so now Paralegal 3 is logged into the system. So if I go back to my own login here, where I'm logged in as James, and I've got that Whole Firm channel, I can click Members, and I can add someone. And look, there's Paralegal 3 now is available to add. And click OK. So now if I go back to Paralegal 3's application, now they can access that Whole Firm channel that we've already created. So now all day long they can have this open in a little window. It doesn't take a lot of resources, and they can say, "Hi, I have a question about Steve." Stever, I guess. Right? And they can, if this is the receptionist who needs to pass a question along to the attorney or another paralegal, then voila, everyone can work together without the mess of email. So this is a really useful app. There's a lot of great things you can do with it. And if you've used Slack before and you were paying $5 or $7 a month per user, you can actually export your data from Slack and import it into chat. All right, so let's move on. We're done with the chat app. It's very cool, of course. And we're going to move on to the Package Center. We were just looking here. Let's go ahead and scroll down here. Oh, went too far. All right, we talked about chat, Cloud Station Server, Cloud Station Share Sync, Cloud Sync. We dealt with Cloud Sync when we were syncing one of the folders to Google Drive. There's a lot of other apps here. Some of these you might or might not use. Drive, this is if you want to set up like your own cloud storage. And there's apps for your phone and whatnot too with that. File Station. This is something that's already running on here, and this is just the file viewer on your NAS. So if you want to just look on your NAS and see how do your client files look, how do all these other things look, this is where you would do it. All right, let's scroll down a little further. And if you wanted this to be your own email server, you could set it up for that. I'm not going to go over that because I don't really think it's that great idea, but you could do it. There's something for organizing your photos and videos. But the other app that's really important to go over is Note Station. All right, let's open that. I've already installed it, and remember the steps that we covered. Say, to enable the apps on the NAS, which we did, install the client software on your computers, which I've done, and then set permissions for users or groups so your staff can use the app too, which we've done as well. So let's go ahead and open NoteStation. Now, NoteStation is very, very similar and designed to be, a mimicking app of Evernote. So it's a really cool app for being able to take notes. And what's great about it is you can create, well, let's create a notebook, and we're going to call it Law Firm Procedures. Oh, there we go. And you can actually take that, right click, share, and you can choose who you want to share it with, right? You can even share it with the whole group of paralegals. So now they'll be able to see that notebook. Now, if there's notes that you just want to keep for yourself or on a particular client, or you're doing some research, you can do that too. But then inside the notebook, you can create a note, and you can, type words. You can attach files. So if we want to upload a file from let's cancel it. Okay, there we go. So I've attached a PDF to it. So if I'm doing research, I can attach PDFs or documents or images to this. I can grab websites. I can add URLs here so they're clickable, so I can easily get to it next time when I'm looking at stuff. And then, I've got that note in the notebook, and I can create another one. And then another one. So you can put all your law firm procedures or whatnot here, share it with your firm, or have some notes that you have just yourself as well. Now, the nice thing about this is there's an app for that for your cell phone. So you can sync your notes onto your phone, and you can be taking notes wherever you're at and be saving your information. And there's also an app for the computer. So that's like one of the most useful apps, and I believe this is one where you can also import all your data from Evernote. Now, it's not going to be able to connect to Zapier, so if you've got any automations or things connected to it, that won't work. But it is really, really good for taking notes, and it also has, you can make some personal to-do lists or things like that too. So that's another one of the really useful apps that I highly recommend. And as far as the apps that are created by Synology themselves, right? That's pretty much it. There's a couple other good ones like Surveillance Station. If you've got a situation where you only need 1 or maximum 2 cameras, and you're not doing real high resolution or anything, you could use Surveillance Station, which turns your NAS into something that can handle a bunch of cameras. Now, the CPU in these things are pretty good, but for handling like live stream HD quality video, it's not going to. There's just not enough CPU power there. We might be doing a separate video on camera servers because they're so much fun, and that's just a separate animal. But 1 or 2 cameras, you could deal with that. Let's see here, Video Station. All right, so this is cool because you could copy all your DVDs and Blu-rays onto your NAS, and then you can stream that from anywhere. So it's like a personal Netflix. That's fun. And that's an app you don't have to pay for. That's included with Synology as well. So, we already talked about VPN server. Ooh, Virtual Machine Manager. So, if you're into running, well, if you know what a virtual machine is, this can host your virtual machines. We'll put it that way. It's pretty neat. All right, and with that, we're done for today. So, as always, this video has been brought to you by Prima Facie. Prima Facie is your premier source for immigration forms and case management software. We have a complete library of immigration forms. We're talking USCIS, EOIR, ETA, DOL, ICE, and we've got a FBI fingerprint request form in there as well. So we have all the forms that you're going to need in your practice, and they autofill. So filling them, so you're saving time and preparing your cases more efficiently. Get a free 15-day trial at www.primafascinow.com, and here is the information. www.primafascinow.com. All right. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.